With the first pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama from Nanterre, France.
It's rare to witness a player who completely redefines what we think is possible in basketball. But before Victor Wembanyama became the NBA's most talked-about rookie, he was already doing the unimaginable on courts across Europe. He was just a teenager with a ball, towering dreams, and a skill set that had the basketball world holding its breath. But what made Wembanyama so special? Even before stepping onto an NBA court, let's take it back to where it all began. Victor Wembanyama was born into a family of athletes on January 4th, 2004 in Le Chesnay, a small suburb outside Paris. With parents like his father Felix, a former track and field athlete, and his mother Elodie, a basketball coach and former player. Athletic excellence was practically in his DNA. Standing at 6 feet 6 inches and 6 feet 3 inches respectively, Felix and Elodie passed down more than just tall genes. They passed down a legacy of competitive spirit. Even Victor's siblings weren't left out. His older sister Eve became a professional basketball player, while his younger brother Oscar showed promise in basketball and handball. It's safe to say Wembanyama was born into a family where greatness wasn't just expected, it was the norm. While most kids his age were struggling to dribble a ball, Victor was already catching eyes on the sidelines of youth games. At just 10 years old, he joined the youth system of Nanterre 92 after a coach mistook him for a much older player because of his height. He was 5 feet 11 inches at the time. But Wembanyama wasn't just tall, he was skilled. His mother, Elodie, had taught him the fundamentals, and it showed in every dribble, pass, and block. By 15, Wembanyama had already stepped onto the professional stage, playing for Nanterre 92's senior team in the French LNB Pro A. But this wasn't just about being a tall kid among grown men. Victor's presence on the court hinted at something far more profound. Coaches saw not just height, but an ability to move with fluidity, a silky jumper, and a knack for defense that was well beyond his years. Wembanyama wasn't just tall, he was skilled in ways that defied logic. Standing at an astonishing 7.3, with a wingspan pushing 8 feet, he could handle the ball like a guard, pull off step-back threes, and block shots from the other side of the court. These weren't just highlight reel plays, they were glimpses into the future of basketball. By 16, scouts across the globe were calling him a unicorn, but LeBron James would later find an even better nickname, an alien.
We're labeling like this unicorn thing. Everybody's been a unicorn over the last few years, but he's more like an alien.
Think about it. How often do you see a player that tall who can dribble, shoot, and defend like that? Exactly. It wasn't long before Wembanyama was showcasing his talent on the international stage. At the 2021 FIBA U19 World Cup, he was a revelation, leading France to a silver medal while breaking records for blocks per game. His performances were jaw-dropping, and at just 17, he was already considered the best player in the tournament. Even NBA Commissioner Adam Silver admitted that teams were keeping an eye on the 2023 draft, knowing it could land them a once-in-a-generation talent. But despite all the hype, Victor stayed grounded and focused on his game, not the noise. In 2022, Victor joined Metropolitans 92 in France, where he played under coach Vincent Collet. This move wasn't just about improving, it was strategic. Collet was known for developing young talent, and under his guidance, Wembanyama's game flourished. From dominating the Pro A League to starring in highly anticipated exhibition games against the NBA G League Ignite, Victor's rise was unstoppable. So, what did Victor do next that left scouts and analysts labeling him the best prospect since LeBron James? When Victor Wembanyama walked onto the court for the Metropolitans 92 in 2022, the basketball world had already taken notice. But it wasn't just the scouts or the media hyping him up, it was the way he played. His dominance in the French Pro A League wasn't just impressive for his age. It was unprecedented. Victor's first season with the Metropolitans 92 wasn't just a stepping stone, it was a statement. He led the league in scoring, rebounds, and blocks, a trifecta rarely seen, let alone by a 19-year-old. And while his stats painted a picture of dominance, the way he achieved them was what left everyone speechless. He wasn't just out-muscling players in the paint, he was outthinking them. His basketball IQ, combined with his physical tools, made him nearly impossible to defend. One moment, he was draining a three over a defender's outstretched arms. The next, he was sprinting back to swat a layup into the stands. But the real buzz began when Wembanyama went head-to-head with Scoot Henderson and the NBA G League Ignite in two highly anticipated exhibition games. In those matchups, he showed the world exactly why he was special. He dropped 37 points in the first game, including 5 blocks and 4 rebounds, and followed it up with a 36-point, 11-rebound performance in the second. For NBA scouts in attendance, it wasn't just about the numbers, it was how he controlled the game. He looked like a cheat code, blending guard-like skills with the presence of a dominant big man. This was the kind of performance that turned hype into certainty. By the time the NBA announced it would stream all of Metropolitan's 92's games, it was clear Victor Wembanyama wasn't just a French basketball prodigy, he was a global sensation. Fans, scouts, and players tuned in weekly to watch what many were calling the future of basketball. And Victor delivered. From jaw-dropping stat lines to game-winning plays, he turned every outing into a spectacle. He became the youngest player ever to win the Pro A MVP award, and he did it while sweeping nearly every other major accolade. Best scorer, best defender, and best young player. These weren't just trophies. They were proof that Victor wasn't just living up to the hype, he was exceeding it. By the time the 2023 NBA draft rolled around, there was no suspense about who would go first. When Adam Silver called Victor Wembanyama's name, it wasn't just the start of his NBA career, it was the culmination of years of preparation, sacrifice, and a relentless drive to be great. The San Antonio Spurs, a franchise with a history of developing international superstars like Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, welcomed Victor as their next cornerstone. His draft night was filled with emotion, but Wembanyama's focus was already on what lay ahead. He wasn't here to just be good, he wanted to be great. Victor isn't just another tall player with potential. His ability to handle the ball, shoot from deep, and defend at an elite level makes him a unique package the league has never seen. LeBron James described him as an alien, and that might be the most accurate description yet. But there's more to Victor than his game. He's a thinker, a student of the sport, who studies his heroes like Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo. He speaks multiple languages, indulges in science fiction, and even enjoys a good game of chess. Wembanyama is as much a product of his work ethic as he is of his talent, and that's what sets him apart. Victor Wembanyama's story is far from finished. Before the NBA, he was already on his way to greatness in Europe, a player who broke records, shattered expectations, and inspired the next generation. But his journey to the top wasn't just about his height or his highlights. It was about his determination to redefine what's possible. Now, as he moves forward with his NBA career, the world is watching. But for Victor, the goal isn't just to meet expectations, it's to exceed them. Whether he's blocking shots, hitting threes, or inspiring millions. One thing is certain, we're witnessing the rise of a once-in-a-generation talent.